Hi.
Hi.
I really like the bit. It really energized me. The bit. I think you said similar things before, but about for no reason. And why are we doing this for no reason? And it felt very liberating because my rational mind, I suppose, is always trying to find reasons for things, for everything, and it kind of knows there aren't any really. And yet I keep trying to find one.
Well, I mean, I think maybe in our lives it makes sense that we construct stories and narratives, and it's quite natural to do that as humans. But I think as long as once in a while we come like this together and you really, really connect with your understanding on a tactile level that for no reason. For no reason, for no personal reason. Because there is a reason to creation, but it's not a reason that the mind could ever articulate. There's a reason for everything, you could say, but it's a divine reason that none of us could ever comprehend or articulate, at least at the level of the mind. But when we when we somehow, in a way, I don't know how to say this, we're exercising this for no reason at the level of the body, and somehow as we do that, as we allow a movement for no reason, it delivers a taste of this divine cosmic reason, which is for no reason, which is for no personal reason, not for any personal reason or separate reason. But if I guess if we had the eyes that could see from God's point of view, we would see the cosmic reason. I'm No need to respond, Keith. I'm just ranting
For no reason.
for no reason. You've got a very sweet cat there.
Oh yeah, he really is.
Yeah,
Hugo.
Hugo. Christiane.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. It's,
Hi.
it's so wonderful. Whenever you start speaking, it's wonderful for me. And when you said I've never really heard it, and when you said the body doesn't, you don't live in the body lives in you. It just followed me all through, and it's wonderful. I was so tasteful.
Yes.
The, uh, to live in that is I sometimes my mind said, remember this is so useful. So I will, but I
Well, I
there's
think
no way
that particular idea, which I didn't make up. I remember when Francis, my teacher, said that it was like
mm,
such a light
mm,
bulb.
yes,
It was such a
exactly,
useful thing to say to myself because
yes,
immediately it delivers.
yeah,
It immediately switches.
yeah,
Maybe not for everyone, but for me and clearly for you. So you
exactly,
you can at any given moment in your day tell yourself that, and it's so liberating for the body.
mm,
It liberates the self, which has mistakenly thought it was limited to a body, and it delivers the body, who no longer has to be the kind of envelope for this separate self.
yes, exactly. There's is so borderless.
Yeah.
I love to just um um I don't even imagine, but I am in the dark open space sky. I like to like the sense of flying, or what it is in a naked body, but it's not a body. And then this came like so, oh, there are no words. I'm sorry.
I understand, Christian. I totally understand.
No
But
words. Okay, anyway.
you're doing well. It's very hard to put into words.
Yes.
Because,
Well,
after these experiences, I think we're better off to write a poem, or even to speak. And some of us do write poems or read poems, and or to speak. And you're always all welcome to try to speak from the place, from that understanding, and in a way find a language that would convey that. And that you don't have to do that now, Christian, but it's, why not? Of course, then there's sometimes a rational question, or something that we want to explore with our rational minds. But language is obviously also such an expressive tool, to not always in the service of reason. Anyway, I've lost you. Where are you? Oh, there you are, Christian. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you too.
Can you unmute yourself? There you are.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah. There were two things that particularly, because this came up. Other people just said the reason, right?
No reason to do this.
And I noticed for myself it was also because I have such a tendency from my background, in movement to move with a purpose as well, right? And
are you a dancer?
I used to, yeah. So I have never stopped dancing, but I mean, professionally, yes, I stopped dancing professionally.
Yes.
Not in my living room yet. And I just think that will never end. And the proof of it is that, when you said tonight about the divine choreographer moving you, it was the most perfect, perfect for me to think of that,
Yes. Yes. You have
we are
to
all
dance.
dancers. We don't need a background in dance to be dancers. And
No, we don't. But when we're dancers, we're dancers,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the non-purpose, it catches me so many times. Well, and particularly tonight, I felt it so clearly when you said, okay, there is no purpose for your movement right now. And I was totally headed the opposite direction. I was totally headed towards creating space in between the vertebrae. And I just, it made
But
me...
even if you're like on a mission, I'm creating space between the vertebrae, and you hear the words, no reason to do this, no purpose. You can just switch one thing, which is get rid of the doer, but you don't have to get rid of the space between the vertebrae. You just, you know what I mean? Like, in fact, you're going to gain more space between the vertebrae if you get rid of that bloody doer, because the doer adds a kind of tension. It's a kind of tension. It's at the level of the body. The doer is. So the whole exploration here is a kind of dance. At first, if I suggest a movement, the mover and doer probably be engaged, but then we purify the movement or the posture of the doer.
It just, yeah, it gets...
Just one more thing. Sorry, Mario. It's very good when we see the doer, right? Because we see what it's made of, and it's made of some very subtle tension, sometimes very tiny little. I mean, sometimes it's not so subtle. Sometimes it's a thought process, and we're in the future, and but
yeah, I noticed for myself. It has that it's driven. No, it has a drive.
Yes,
it has a drive, and because I also, it's a very fine line, because I, at the same time, I feel that I innately I want to expand and create this space between the vertebrae, but I don't know how much of that is happening because I'm being moved by the divine choreography.
Well, I think
how much of that is my
Maria Rosa, go for it. Create space between the vertebrae, and little by little, as you do it, feel that it's an expression that's coming from the invisible. Everything comes from the invisible. So even if there's a bit of a doer there, at some point, because you love the truth and you're exploring it on a tactile level, as you create the space between the vertebrae, you will purify it of the little extra doer thing. It will happen naturally, but there is a doer. There's a cosmic doer, and if you're a creator, an artist, a dancer, there's nothing wrong with with doing, you know. So we're looking at a certain kind of doing, which is kind of can't do it. It's like it's a doing that's based on the past. Oh yeah, I'm going to elongate my spine mechanically. It takes us out of the now. It draws on the past, and it creates something in the future. But the doer that's here now, you know, like if I say I'm going to make a beautiful shape and I'm doing it, but I'm allowing it too. You know what I mean? Like then no
Yeah,
problem.
kind of like when you feel it's blooming from within, like you talked about
Yeah.
flower. If it's blooming from within, then
Beautiful, blooming from within.
happening.
Exactly. And I think it's a fine line, you know, and we have to surf it. Sometimes we have to actually start with the doer when we're moving and dancing, and we have a big feeling that we want to express. We have to start with my feeling, but as we allow it, somehow, and because we're truth lovers and because we're exploring, it will liberate itself. It will purify itself on its own. So
Yeah, and sometimes also I want to quickly just say one more
yes,
thing that came
you can say.
earlier when the man Stephen mentioned about shaking. I yeah, I also sometimes when it's free, it's I wonder, you know, did my body decide that it was gonna shake now, or I knew that what shaking would have created. So I decided that I'm gonna go for the shaking now. You know, and it's like it was a decision. It
Yeah.
was not that my body got it's not my body didn't pull me into shaking, but I
It
consciously.
doesn't, it just, I wouldn't worry about all that, you know, like, yeah, I know exactly what you're describing because I I do that dance too of did I do it? Did it do it? What did it? But just keep exploring is what I want to encourage you, you know.
Okay. Thank
I'm
you.
not being very clear because I don't think it's easy to talk very clearly about these places, but if you feel like I'm going to shake, fine. The thought came, you know, where did the thought come? The thought came just exactly from the same place as the movement.
Like an invitation.
Yes. I think in the free movement, the place that's more, the place that we have to be aware of is the place of resistance or inhibition, where we freeze a bit, or we are outside the body, kind of moving from a feeling outside the body, and then the invitation is to come back to the sensation, to the you know, to the, anyway, it's hard to talk about. But thank you
No,
so much, Maria Rosa. It's nice
thank
that you
thank you. Thank
express all this curiosity. Yeah,
yeah, thank you, thank you.
thank you.
And hello everybody.